All right, welcome back to Financially Fit. Alan Dembski along with Tanya Baya, both with Buffalo First Wealth Management. We've gotten a lot of great feedback with the stories that we've been telling uh, for our Financially Fit and just commenting on some of them. And one of the bigger things as we're going through tax season now and talking to business owners and just kind of going through their whole tax return and understanding where they're coming from when they start asking us questions. But we wanted to continue that with some retirement solutions, possibly for business owners. Because as people get older and they decide to sell their business, they come to us with questions like, oh, how much money is my business worth? How much can I get for it? Different things like that. And we just had some very interesting things come along. And Tanya and I just wanted to comment on some of those questions that a lot of business owners ask. And I'm going to turn it over to Tanya for a quick story, and then we're going to go through that and chat. So Tanya, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, right now it's all about taxes. And interestingly enough, I've had a few people kind of tell me that, they do their own taxes. They've just started their business and there's no real reason why they don't see a reason to go to an accountant because they're just starting out. So the story I'm going to tell you is, for me personally, I feel really makes a statement to, if you're starting a business, or if you're just in its infancy, or if if you've got it up and running for 3 to 5 years, you definitely want to be going to an accountant for your taxes, because none of us, if you're starting a business, you don't know what all the tax possibilities are. We think we know a lot of things, but sometimes even people even people who've been, tax preparers, new things happen every year that none of us can keep up on easily. So my story is, a couple of years ago, I had a client come to me, and she was 68 at the time. Her husband was 69, and she decided that they were ready to sell their business. They had started this business 40 years before in a one-room small place. They rolled out carpet, they laid carpet, and that's all they did. In fact, the one room had a small room behind it, and that's where my client and her husband and their 2 sons lived for 2 years. So that's all they had. Well, moving forward 40 years, they now have a huge multi-million-dollar business that doesn't do just, they still do the carpeting, but they have carpet layers that do that. They have you can go to their place and do an entire design of your house. And they have employees that can help you with the kitchen, and they have, contractors for, whatever you need to have happen in your house, redo it, or build it. Just phenomenal. And again, like I said, they were 69, 68, 69 years old, and they really just done an amazing job building this business up. And now they wanted to sell it because this was their retirement. However, they had been trying for about 4 years before that to start, getting like bites and figuring out what the business was worth and getting someone to buy it. And it turned out that where they were, and because the business was worth what it was, no one who was interested had enough money to buy it. Now, they're looking at it, they're getting tired, and they don't want to continue. So they come to me to see what they can do. We sit down and we talk about, their financial plan, and, just take a look at everything. Well, they have very little Social Security coming to them. Why? Because they thought they were being really smart and didn't draw an income on their business. They put everything back into the business. That way they didn't have to pay the tax man as much. All right. And they didn't do any retirement because they were building their company, and their company was going to be a retirement. So they are still working on finding a buyer even 3 years later. And they are still at the age of 72 and 73, still working for a company where they would really like to retire. And although it was their lifeblood, they can't retire because everything that they are financially is wrapped up in the business that they can't sell. So I did mention a few things there, and that's what Alan is going to kind of follow through on between the
So
idea. Go ahead. Go ahead,
no, I
Alan.
was just going to say, so a lot of people are on paper wealthy,
Yes,
but not necessarily liquid wealthy.
that's right. They have really no liquidity, and they can't stop working. At this point in time, they can't stop running the business because they can't sell it, and they don't have any sort of a liquid asset to move like retirement into where they could kind of back out of it.
So this is really, there's like a three prong here. One, a tax man paying him on an annual basis and looking to see what you could depreciate, reduce your income, thus not showing much income. And then your business, it's nice to not pay taxes and deduct everything.
Yeah,
But on paper, what's your business actually worth if somebody wants to come in and buy it? You don't have any, you're not showing any income, you're not showing any revenue or decreasing your revenue for profitability. Whereas somebody coming in and say, yeah, you're doing, let's say $3 million worth of business, but you're expending the same amount. So you're at zero. What's next then? Where is, what is, how should I, why would I buy a business that doesn't make any money?
right.
So paying those taxes, and now not only do you move from that paper, now what's the succession plan? Because nobody
Right.
wants to buy it. And I think that's what, where these people are kind of stuck, is that succession plan only starting out. Well, I think it's time to sell our business. Well, who's going to buy it?
Right. Right. And if you don't have a buyer, then all of those, it is, there's assets there, but you can't, you can't tap them to move on to the next stage of your life when honestly, this was their baby, it was their blood, but now they are tired and they would like to be able to do something different. Unfortunately, because of lack of planning and honestly misunderstanding, what exactly can happen throughout the years, has led them to kind of a crunch, a money
And a
crunch.
lot of things that we see in small businesses too, is the goodwill factor. You build in that goodwill. Like if these people wanted to sell their business, are the people that their customers accustomed to the owners, and the owners getting things done, and the owners following through and doing the job that they say they're going to do? What are those loyal customers going to say if Bob, the maintenance guy, comes in, takes over the company? Do they want to do business with Bob, the maintenance guy that's now taking over the company? So a
That's right.
succession plan, people got to understand who's buying that business, and will those people continue to do business with that person?
Absolutely. And that's why it's so important. That's why, I mean, during tax time, as you are taking a look at what your deductions are, what you are going to take as far as your income goes, talking to a professional is absolutely paramount.
And it comes into, and I think you would agree with this, it comes into taking a look at not only now, but in the future, coming up with a strategy, not just filing your return.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
So strategies to reduce income, but to also show it.
Right.
So working with somebody that's knowledgeable and understanding those, whatever you're trying to achieve, if it is to absolutely show no income, that's fine. But what's the end game then after that? I think is the question. And so we were just talking earlier today about business owners saving for retirement.
Yeah.
Yes, we should put all our money back into the business, right? But are you paying yourself? And it goes to the individual, and also is the same for a business owner. Pay yourself first. And that's pay yourself through retirement plans, whether it's a 401k, simple IRA, payroll deduct IRA, a SEP. There's all these acronyms out there for retirement plans, and most people have only heard of the 401k.
Right.
So it's like, well, should we do a 401k? Should we do a SEP? So this is where working with a financial advisor, will help determine what retirement plan you should be doing, because
And a
it's
lot of
not a one
times,
size fit all.
right, and a lot of times people think 401ks, they think big business, and that's just
Right.
it. Well, there are even individual 401ks or the SEP, and you can put quite a bit of money away for A, your retirement, and B, pre-taxes. It's just something that, because there are so many different options out there, uh, it's absolutely important to talk to someone, and tax time is a great time to, think about this.
And I had this conversation with a business owner the other day. I was in doing a group meeting with the employees, and afterwards I met with the owners, and I said, this year you guys could put in 58,000. They're like, really? I said, yeah, you have profit share. We talk about this every year, that you could do a profit share and max your retirement out at 58,000. Oh my God, I forgot all about that. Like,
Yeah.
that's my job, is to remind you that you could do this, and then talk to your accountant to see if it makes sense to do it on an annual basis. So being, I was telling our tax preparer the other day that we're the quarterback.
Yeah.
We quarterback the accountant, the lawyers, and everybody else on your team, and make sure that people are in their specific spots to run the right play. And the business owner at the end of the day coordinates that with us. He's the running back. He's going to plow through the line. He's going to charge and do what he needs to do to get the business done or get that play done. But we're the quarterback. We're helping them oversee that entire play, if that makes sense.
Like
But
it.
small, I always equate stuff to sports, and it usually works out pretty well, because sports, business, it all goes, you're always trying to win, right?
You're always trying to win. Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, business owners have a lot on their plate, and I'm sure these people do as well.
Yeah,
I mean, by the sounds of it, very successful business. But now
it
we're
is.
getting, we're in the fourth quarter, 2 minute warning, again, to football, even though I'm a hockey guy, but 2 minute warning in the fourth quarter. Now these people are really pressing on what to do and how to win the game.
Right. Exactly. They've made it. Now they have to just kind of get those last 2 yards in order to really finish up and be able to retire and do whatever they want in the next part of their lives. So,
And I think Tanya and I, that's why we like working with business owners as well, is because that adds to a complex financial plan.
yes.
And at the end of the day, that's built into your estate. And
Mhm.
ultimately, the tax man, as you put it, wants to get their fair share
Yeah.
of money. So, at the any words of wisdom as we wrap up here?
Mine is it go ahead and pay for that tax planning, and then come see us and we can talk about what your future 10, 15 years are going to look like.
And with that, we will sign off this week. But again, follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and some of our other channels that we like to present on. And if there's any questions that you have, or anything you want us to comment on, we'd certainly love to do it. Um, Business owners, individuals, doesn't matter, as long as it's financial or sports. I guess we can do a sports conversation as well, as Tanya's kids play sports, and she played sports, and I play sports, and just a big sports office here. But with that, tune in next week for another episode. And with that, have a great day.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.